तुम सा कोई प्यारा कोई मासूम नहीं है, क्या चीज हो तुम खुद तुम्हें मालूम नहीं है।
लाखों है मगर तुम सा यहाँ कौन हंसी है, तुम जान हो मेरी तुम्हें मालूम नहीं है।
देखने वालों ने क्या क्या नहीं देखा होगा, मेरा दावा है कि तुझसा नहीं देखा होगा। जिस तरह मैंने तेरी राह तकी है परसों, जिस तरह मैंने तेरी राह तकी है परसों, यूं किसी ने तेरा रास्ता नहीं देखा होगा, यूं किसी ने तेरा रास्ता नहीं देखा होगा।
पास वो आने लगे जरा जरा, नजरें चुराने लगे जरा जरा, दिल पे वो छाने लगे जरा 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 जरा, धड़कने चुराने लगे जरा जरा, पास वो आने लगे जरा जरा, चोरी चोरी दिल तेरा चुराएंगे, अपना तुझे हम बनाएंगे। धीरे धीरे पास तेरे आएंगे, आगे दूर फिर न जाएंगे। ओ 100 फूल खिले जब ये खिला रूप सुनहरा, 100 चांद बने जब ये बना चांद सा चेहरा।
इतना भी कोई प्यार की राहों में न गुम हो, बस होश है इतना कि मेरे साथ में तुम हो, मेरे साथ में तुम हो, मेरे साथ में तुम हो। धड़कन है कहीं दिल है कहीं चांद कहीं है, तुम जान हो मेरी तुम्हें मालूम नहीं है।
ये चांदनी इन आंखों का साया तो नहीं है, क्या चीज हो तुम खुद तुम्हें मालूम नहीं है।
पलकें झुकाऊं तुझे दिल में बसाऊं, अब बिन तेरे मैं तो कहीं चैन न पाऊं।
तू मेरा जिगर है, तू मेरी आरज़ू, तू मेरा हमसफर है।
देखा है पहली बार सजन की आंखों में प्यार।
दिन हो चाहे रात हो, हम दोनों का साथ हो।
आजो से मेरे सनम, बस तेरी बात हो।
बस तुझे प्यार दूं, बस तेरा नाम लूं,
बहके जो कभी तुझको थाम लूं।
इस तरह से तुझे पलकों में छुपा लूंगा मैं, इस तरह से तुझे पलकों में छुपा लूंगा मैं। मेरी आंखों में सिर्फ तेरा ही चेहरा होगा, मेरी आंखों में सिर्फ तेरा ही चेहरा होगा।
देखने वालों ने क्या क्या नहीं देखा होगा।
वो कहती है ये तेरी पायल, तूने किया मुझे घायल घायल। शाम सवेरे दिल में मेरे तूने मचा दी हलचल हलचल। नींदें उड़ाने लगे जरा जरा, अपना बनाने लगे जरा जरा।
हमें वो चाहने लगे जरा जरा, जरा 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 जरा।
तू मेरी आंखों की निंदिया, तू ही मेरा जीवन है, मैं जो दिल तू धड़कन है। धड़कनों से तुझे चुराएंगे, अपना तुझे हम बनाएंगे। चोरी चोरी दिल तेरा चुराएंगे, अपना तुझे हम बनाएंगे। दुनिया को दिखा देंगे, हम मौत को जीने के अंदाज दिखा देंगे। जिसे देख मेरा दिल धड़का, मेरी जान तड़पती है। कोई जन्नत की वो हूर नहीं, मेरे कॉलेज की एक लड़की है। कोई जन्नत की वो हूर नहीं, मेरे कॉलेज की एक लड़की है। सातों जन्म तुझको पाते गोरी, तेरे नैनों में हम बस जाते। सपनों की, हाँ सपनों की दुनिया बसाते गोरी, तेरे नैनों में हम बस जाते। सातों जन्म तुझको पाते गोरी, तेरे नैनों में हम बस जाते।
जब जब बजाए मोहन मुरलिया, छन छन छनकती है मेरी पायलिया। नैनों से जब वो करे छेड़खानी, दिल जाने रह जाए खड़ी दीवानी। सुध बुध गवाई, नींदें उड़ाई, सुध बुध गवाई, नींदें उड़ाई। जो करने बैठी थी वो कर न पाई, बड़ी मुश्किल से दिल को संभाला है। राम जी की कृपा से मैं बची, राम जी की कृपा से मैं बची, हाँ राम जी की कृपा से।
जीना तो है 4 ही दिन जिएंगे मस्ती में, यार की आंखों से जाम पिएंगे मस्ती में।
आँखों से जाम जियो, लेके मेरा नाम जियो, दिल मेरा आपका घर है।
लाखों में तू एक ही जान जिगर है, लाखों में तू एक ही जान जिगर है। बच के रहना रे बाबा, बच के रहना रे, बच के रहना रे बाबा, तुझ पे नजर है। पर तेरे लिए आए तेरे एक दीवाने, सुने नच जाए आए रंग जमाने। कैसे कैसे तू मिलाए तू क्या जाने, तू क्या जाने। बच के रहना रे बाबा, बच के रहना रे, बच के रहना रे बाबा, तुझ पे नजर है। माना के अंधेरों के गहरे हैं बहुत साए, पर हम है यहाँ किसको आती है तो रात आए। हम रात के सीने में एक शम्मा जला देंगे। उसकी अदाएं कातिल बड़ी, ये मोरनी के जैसी चले, इसकी अदाएं कातिल बड़ी। जिधर से खुशबू उड़े, कितनी हंसी है ये गुलछड़ी। निकले जिधर से खुशबू उड़े, कितनी हंसी है ये गुलछड़ी। कुछ आज है होने वाला, मेरी आंख फड़कती है। कोई जन्नत की वो हूर नहीं, मेरे कॉलेज की एक लड़की है। कोई जन्नत की वो
तेरे सामने तुझको देखूं के प्यार करूं, ये कैसे हो गया तू मेरी हो गई, कैसे मैं एतबार करूं।
जरा सा झूम लूं मैं,
अरे ना रे ना रे ना,
जरा सा घूम लूं मैं,
अरे ना रे ना रे ना,
अब तुझे चूम लूं मैं,
अरे ना रे बाबा ना।
मैं चली बनके अम्मा,
रब्बा मेरे मैनू बचा। तुम्हें जो मैंने देखा, तुम्हें जो मैंने जाना, जो होश था वो तो गया, बदन की ये खुशबू जगाने लगी जादू, तो होके बेकाबू दिल खो गया। तुम्हें जो मैंने सोचा, तुम्हें जो मैंने माना, जो होश था वो तो गया। चांद ने कुछ कहा, रात ने कुछ सुना, तू भी सुन बेखबर, प्यार कर ओ प्यार कर।
आई है चांदनी मुझसे कहने यही, आई है चांदनी मुझसे कहने यही, मेरी गली मेरे घर प्यार कर, प्यार कर।
चांद ने कुछ कहा, रात ने कुछ सुना, तू भी सुन बेखबर, प्यार कर ओ प्यार कर। अरे भोली सी सूरत, आंखों में मस्ती, दूर खड़ी शर्माए, आए हाय एक झलक दिखलाए, कभी कभी आंचल में छुप जाए। आए हाय मेरी नजर से तुम देखो तो यार नजर वो आए, भोली सी सूरत, आंखों में मस्ती, आए हाय। चलते चलते यूं ही रुक जाता हूँ मैं, बैठे बैठे कहीं खो जाता हूँ मैं, कहते कहते ही चुप हो जाता हूँ मैं। क्या यही प्यार है, क्या यही प्यार है,
हाँ यही प्यार है, हाँ यही प्यार है।
सावन का पहला बादल उसका काजल बन जाए, मौज उठे सागर में जैसे ऐसे कदम उठाए, रब ने जाने किस मिट्टी से उसके अंग बनाए, छम से काश कहीं से मेरे सामने वो आ जाए, भोली सी सूरत, आंखों में मस्ती, आए हाय। तेरी जुल्फों से खेलूंगा मैं, तुझको बाहों में ले लूंगा मैं, दिल तो देते हैं आशिक सभी, जान भी तुझको दे दूंगा मैं।
मेरे होठों के गुलाब मांग ले,
तू मेरे सामने, मैं तेरे सामने, तुझको देखूं के प्यार करूं, ये कैसे हो गया तू मेरी हो गई, कैसे मैं एतबार करूं।
तुम पे मरते हैं क्यों हम नहीं जानते,
बंद गलियों से छुप छुप के हम गुजरने लगे, हाय ये क्या करने लगे। क्या यही प्यार है, क्या यही प्यार है,
हाँ यही प्यार है, हाँ यही प्यार है।
क्या कहूँ क्या पता बात क्या हो गई, दिल लगी ये मेरे साथ क्या हो गई, एक इशारा है क्यों तुम खूबसूरत हो के सबको हैरत हो। दुनिया में सचमुच ही रहती है परियों से भी ज्यादा प्यारी सी लड़की कोई। तुम्ही को मैंने पूछा, तुम्ही को चाह पाना, तुम्हें जो मैंने देखा, तुम्हें जो मैंने जाना, जो होश था वो तो गया। बदन की ये खुशबू जगाने लगी जादू, तो के बेकाबू दिल खो गया। तुम्हें जो मैंने देखा, तुम्हें जो मैंने जाना, जो होश था वो तो गया।
कहो तो जरा झूम लो मंजिल की बहार में, कहो तो जरा झूम लो मंजिल की बहार में। दिल कहता है जाने जाना, हद से गुजर जाऊं प्यार में।
कहो तो जरा झूम लो तुम्हारे इस खुमार में। कहो तो जरा झूम लो तुम्हारे इस खुमार में। बताओ तुम कौन हो, ख्यालों पे जो छा गए। अभी तो मैंने ठीक से तुम न पहचाना। बताओ तुम कौन हो, ख्यालों पे जो छा गए। अभी तो मैंने ठीक से तुम्हें न पहचाना।
तुम्हारा मैं ख्वाब हूँ, तुम्हारा अरमान हूँ, तुम्हारी धड़कन हूँ मैं, ये तुमने न जाना।
कब हुआ अब ये न पूछोगे कब हुआ।
लब हुआ हमको खबर है ये कब हुआ।
हाँ कब हुआ।
दोनों ने चाहा ये कब हुआ।
ये ख्वाब हंसी ये अरमान जवां ले जाए मुझे क्या जाने कहाँ।
अब दूर तलक है जान जहाँ जाएगा ये सिलसिला।
जाती हूँ मैं
जल्दी है क्या
घर के जिया।
वो क्यों भला कोई ख्यालों में क्यों ऐसे देखे मुझे।
आज ये है बात क्या, जैसे तू मेरा लगे।
ये तेरी अदा ये हुस्न जवां ले जाए मुझे अब जाने कहाँ।
अब दूर तलक है जाने जहाँ जाएगा ये सिलसिला। लब हुआ
लब हुआ
अब ये न पूछोगे कब हुआ।
लब हुआ हमको खबर है ये कब हुआ।
हाँ कब हुआ।
ओ दोनों ने चाहा ये तब हुआ।
केसुओं से रेशमी खुशबू चुरा लूं, इन लबों से शबनमी लाली उड़ा लूं।
छोड़ो शर्म आए मैं क्या करूं।
डरना क्या घबराना क्या, टुकड़ भी न अब इस याद में।
कहो तो जरा झूम लो तुम्हारी
फैसला दिल कर ले, समझो सही है, जो ना लगे बेगाना अपना वही है।
नजर को नजर से तुम ये क्या समझा गए, अभी तो मैंने ठीक से तुम न पहचाना। तुम साज मैं गीत गाऊं, कहता है ये मौसम, कहता है ये मौसम, खामोश क्यों मदहोश कर दो। तुम छेड़ दो सरगम, तुम छेड़ दो सरगम। परदेसिया परदेसिया ये सच है पिया, सब कहते हैं मैंने तुझको दिल दे दिया। परदेसिया परदेसिया ये सच है पिया, सब कहते हैं मैंने तुझको दिल दे दिया। मैं कहती हूँ तूने मेरा दिल ले लिया। बंगले के पीछे तेरी मेरी के नीचे हरे पिया, हरे 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 पिया, कांटा लगा हाय लगा, आजा राजा। बंगले के पीछे तेरी मेरी के नीचे हरे पिया, हरे 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 पिया, कांटा लगा हाय लगा, राजा राजा। बंगले के पीछे तेरी मेरी के नीचे हरे पिया। गलियों में गाँव की गलियों में सुन के पिया धर के जिया, सब कहते हैं मैंने तुझको दिल दे दिया। मैं कहती हूँ तूने मेरा दिल ले लिया। निंदिया छिपाए रे लाली चुनर ओढ़ के ढूंढ के मुखड़ा अपना, निकली अंधेरे में दुनिया के डर से मैं सजना। रात बैरन हुई ओ रे साथिया, एक हालत मेरी हाले कर दिया। हाय रे बंगले के पीछे तेरी मेरी के नीचे हाय रे पिया, हरे 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 पिया, कांटा लगा हाय लगा, आजा राजा। बंगले के पीछे तेरी मेरी के नीचे हाय रे पिया।
नींद चुराई मेरी किसने ओ सनम तूने, ओ चैन चुराया मेरा किसने ओ सनम तूने, ओ दिल में मेरे रहने वाली कौन है, तू है ओ।
फूलों सा चेहरा तेरा, कलियों सी मुस्कान है, मेरे सामने मैं तेरे सामने कुछ तो देखूं कि प्यार करूं। कैसे हो गया तू मेरी हो गई, कैसे मैं एतबार करूं। हम प्यार करने वाले दुनिया से न डरने वाले, दुनिया से न डरने वाले। यार चलने वालों को चलाएंगे, प्यार में जिएंगे मर जाएंगे। अब नाम मोहब्बत के इल्जाम तो आया है, तुम जो भी सजा दे दो सर हमने झुकाया है।
मेरी हंसी तुमने रुलाया है, ना प्यार में सोचा था, ना प्यार में पाया है, ना प्यार में पाया है।
तेरी जुल्फों से खेलूंगा मैं, तुझको बाहों में ले लूंगा मैं। दिल तो देते हैं आशिक सभी, जान भी तुझको दे दूंगा मैं।
मेरे होठों के गुलाब मांग ले, मेरी आँखों से शराब मांग ले। तेरा जादू चल गया, जादूगर टूट के मैं चूर हो गई, तेरी जिद से मजबूर हो गई। जो हाल दिल का इधर हो रहा है, वो हाल दिल का उधर हो रहा है। जाने जानियों में जानना अजब सा असर हो रहा है।
अब तेरे दिल में हम आ गए, तेरे दिल में रहेंगे, तुझे अपना कहेंगे।
झूठा
कसम की कसम हम तेरे हैं हम, बात मेरी मान, झूठे नहीं हम। ये मुझको खबर है, ये तुझको पता है, जो छाया धड़कन पे चाहत का नशा है। ये मुझको खबर है, ये तुझको पता है, जो छाया धड़कन पे चाहत का नशा है। दीवाना तेरा बेखबर हो रहा है, जाने जा दिलों में प्यार का अजब सा असर हो रहा है।
जो हाल दिल का इधर हो रहा है, वो हाल दिल का उधर हो रहा है। जाने जानियों में प्यार का अजब सा असर हो रहा है।
जानम जाने जा,
जाने जा
मेरी जान मेरे दिल पर मेरा एतबार कर लो। जितना बेकरार हूँ मैं, खुद को बेकरार कर लो। मैं दुनिया भुला दूंगा तेरी चाहत में। तुम दिल की धड़कन
को है तेरी कसम, तू जो मुझे ना मिली मर जाऊंगा मैं सनम।
मेरी जान मेरे दिल पर मेरा एतबार कर लो, जितना बेकरार हूँ मैं खुद को बेकरार कर लो।
दिल का आलम मैं क्या बताऊं तुझे, मेरी इन सांसों से कहते हो दिल का आलम मैं क्या बताऊं तुझे। जब से तुझे देखा दिल को कहीं आराम नहीं,
तुम जो कह दो तो चांद तारों को तोड़ लाऊंगा मैं, इन हवाओं को इन घटाओं को मोड़ लाऊंगा
मैं फूलों से कलियों से तारों से तेरी मांग भर दूंगा, मैं सांसों की महकी बहारों को तेरे नाम कर दूंगा।
आँखों से बात होती है, धड़कन भी साथ होती है, कोई न समझे ये इश्क की जुबान।
सात भेदों से बंधा जन्मों का ये बंधन, प्यार से जोड़ा है रब ने प्रीत का दामन। देर न कर दुनिया से न डर, सुन ले दुआ बेखबर। वो मेरे सामने बैठी है मगर उससे कुछ बात ना हो पाई है।
तेरी बाहों से तेरी राहों से यूं न जाऊंगा मैं, ये इरादा है मेरा वादा है लौट आऊंगा मैं।
वो दुश्मन जमाना मुझे ना भुलाना, मैं खुद को मिटा दूंगा। बाहों में आ जाओ, सपनों में खो जाओ, जानम जम बन गया हूँ मैं तेरा दीवाना, धीरे धीरे से दिल को चुराना।
पहली पहली बार मोहब्बत की है, कुछ न समझ में आए मैं क्या करूं।
दिल ने ये कहा है दिल से, मोहब्बत हो गई है तुमसे। उसे हंसना भी होगा, उसे रोना भी होगा, उसे पाना भी होगा, उसे खोना भी होगा। दिल में दर्द सा जगा है, कांटा सा कहीं लगा है, मोहब्बत ये नहीं तो क्या है। ओ हो हो जो मेरी रूह को चैन दे प्यार दे, वो खुशी बन गए हो तुम। आता चमकता गहना हो हर दिल जो प्यार करेगा, फूलों की महकती वादी हो हर दिल जो प्यार करेगा। इश्क ने मेरी ऐसी हालत की है, कुछ न समझ में आए मैं क्या तुम जो कह दो तो चांद तारों को तोड़ लाऊंगा मैं, इन हवाओं को इन घटाओं को मोड़ लाऊंगा मैं। ये फूल तुम्हारे सेवर है, ये चांद तुम्हारा आईना, जिस्म से जान तक पास आते गए, इन निगाहों से दिल में समाते गए। छुप जाओ तुम मेरी इन बाहों में, मर के भी ना हम पिछड़े इन राहों में। कर लो मेरी धड़कनों को समझो, तुम भी मुझसे प्यार कर लो।
हम तुम में जो सिलसिला है सारा शहर जानता है, मोहब्बत नहीं तो क्या है। जो मेरी रूह को चैन दे प्यार दे, वो खुशी बन गए हो तुम।
ये दुनिया है दिल वालों की, ये दुनिया है दिल वालों की।
पहली बार मोहब्बत की है, कुछ न समझ में आए मैं क्या करूं। जिंदगी बन गए हो तुम, जिंदगी बन गए हो तुम।
तू प्यार है किसी और का, तुझे चाहता कोई और है।
आईने के 100 टुकड़े करके हमने देखे हैं, एक में भी तन्हा थे 100 में भी अकेले हैं, 100 में भी अकेले हैं।
दुनिया भुला दूंगा तेरी चाहत में, दुश्मन जमाना मुझे ना भुलाना, मैं खुद को मिटा दूंगा। तुम्हें अपना बनाने की कसम खाई है, खाई है।
तू पसंद है किसी और की, तुझे मांगता कोई और है।
तेरी आँखों में चाहत की नजर आई है। वो दुश्मन जमाना मुझे ना भुलाना, मैं खुद को मिटा दूंगा। मोहब्बत क्या है मैं सबको बता दूंगा, ज़माने को तेरे आगे झुका दूंगा।
जो बना था एक साथी वो भी हमसे छूटा है, फिर वफा नहीं जब वो फिर क्यों हमसे रूठा है।
कौन अपना है क्या बेगाना है, क्या हकीकत है क्या फसाना है।
जिंदगी की राहों में लोग हमसे खेले हैं, एक मैं हूँ तेरा दीवाना। ओ दुश्मन जमाना मुझे ना भुलाना, मैं खुद को मिटा दूंगा। तू पसंद है किसी और की, तुझे मांगता कोई और है। एक में भी तन्हा दे, 100 में भी अकेले हैं, 100 में भी अकेले हैं। आईने के 100 टुकड़े करके हमने देखे हैं। तुमसे मिलना, बातें करना बड़ा अच्छा लगता है, क्योंकि इतना प्यार तुमको करते हैं हम। क्या जान लोगे हमारी सनम, मुबारक हो तुमको ये शादी तुम्हारी, सदा खुश रहो तुम, दुआ है हमारी। बड़ा अच्छा लगता है, कभी मुझको हंसाए, कभी मुझको रुलाए, मुझे कितना सताती है।
अरमाना के इस गुलशन में तुम आए हो सावन की तरह।
हमारे दिल की तुम थोड़ी सी कदर कर लो, हम तुम पे मरते हैं, थोड़ी सी फिक्र कर लो। तुम्हारे कदम चूमे ये दुनिया सारी, सदा खुश रहो तुम, दुआ है हमारी। क्या है ये, क्यों है ये, क्या खबर हम मगर जो भी है।
वो लड़की बहुत याद आती है, वो लड़की बहुत याद आती है।
तूने ओ जाना दीवाना किया है, दीवाना किया इस कदर, दीवाना किया इस कदर।
देखा उसे जब पहली बार, बन गया दीवाना मैया, करके अनजाना इकरार, ले गई दिल का चैन खराब।
तुम्हारे लिए है बहारों के मौसम, न आए कभी जिंदगी में कोई गम। तेरी छोटी छोटी बात, तेरी हर एक मुलाकात तड़पाए मुझको, लम्हा लम्हा तेरा साथ, लम्हा लम्हा तेरा साथ। रसों में मोहब्बत का एहसास जरा भर लो, हम तुम पे मरते हैं, थोड़ी सी फिक्र कर लो। मिले न तुम्हें इश्क में बेकरारी, सदा खुश रहो तुम, दुआ है हमारी।
कितना प्यारा मुखड़ा है, वो तो चांद का टुकड़ा है, जाने कहाँ छुप जाती है।
क्या है ये, क्यों है ये, क्या खबर हम मगर जो भी है। फूल में खुशबू रहती है और सीप में मोती रहता है, तेरा मेरा होगा मिलन, धरती से अंबर कहता है।
वो लड़की बहुत याद आती है, वो लड़की बहुत याद आती है।
फलक तक चल साथ मेरे, फलक तक चल साथ चल,
फलक तक चल साथ मेरे, फलक तक चल साथ चल। चांद तारों में नजर आए चेहरा तेरा, चांद तारों में नजर आए चेहरा तेरा। जाना देख लो मिट गई दूरियां, मैं यहाँ हूँ, यहाँ हूँ, यहाँ हूँ, यहाँ हूँ, यहाँ तेरा तेरा। मैंने जिसको दिल ये दिया है, दिल ये दिया है, मैंने जिसको प्यार किया है, जिसको प्यार किया है। ये बादल की चादर, ये तारों के आंचल में छुप जाऊं पल दो पल। जाना देख लो मिट गई दूरियां, मैं यहाँ हूँ, यहाँ हूँ, यहाँ हूँ, यहाँ। चांद तारों में नजर आए चेहरा तेरा, चांद तारों में नजर आए चेहरा तेरा। जब से मेरा दिल पे हुआ है सनम पहला तेरा, तेरा। तुम छुपा ना सकोगे मैं वो राज हूँ, तुम भुला ना सकोगे वो अंदाज हूँ। चल वो चौबारे ढूंढे जिनमें चाहत की बूंदे, सच कर दे सपनों को सभी। एक दूजे के दिल में अपना घर बनाना है, तेरी खातिर सभी हदों से गुजर जाना है। तुम्हें पाके दिल पर मुझे लग रहा है, मेरी जिंदगी में ना अब कुछ कमी है। सूरज को हुई हरारत, रातों को करे शरारत, बैठा है खिड़की पे तेरी। एक तुझे के दिल में अपना घर बनाना है, तेरी खातिर सभी हदों से गुजर जाना है। तुझसे लिपटा रहूंगा बनकर कंगना तेरा, मैं यहाँ हूँ, यहाँ हूँ, यहाँ हूँ, यहाँ। मैं यहाँ हूँ, यहाँ हूँ, यहाँ हूँ, यहाँ हूँ, यहाँ।
The idea of being the chosen one is often romanticized. It evokes images of glory, of triumph, of someone marked for greatness. But the deeper truth, the one few dare to say out loud, is that being chosen is not a privilege in the way people think. It is not a free pass to comfort or ease. It is a summons to suffering, and that suffering is sacred. It is not accidental. It is not random. It is the precise condition through which transformation becomes possible. If you find yourself burdened beyond what seems fair, if your life feels unbearably heavy at times, it might not be because you're cursed. It might be because you're being called to carry something others cannot. Called to step into a role that demands more from you than the average life demands from others. because that's what being chosen really means. It means being entrusted with a weight that will either destroy you or refine you. And you don't get to opt out of that tension. That's part of the assignment. You see, suffering is not meaningless. It becomes meaningless when you run from it, when you pretend it shouldn't exist, when you numb yourself instead of listening to what it's trying to say. But when you face it, fully, honestly, and without self-deception, it begins to shape you. It reveals the parts of you that are weak, the illusions you've lived by, the fears that have kept you small, and then it demands that you change. Suffering asks you to grow, not in comfort, but in fire. It's in the tension between who you are and who you are meant to be that the friction of growth ignites. People are often told to follow their bliss, but the road to actual meaning is paved with voluntary suffering. Not because you enjoy it, but because you've seen what lies on the other side of it, because you've come to understand that purpose is more sustaining than pleasure, and so you carry the weight. There's a pattern here, if you pay attention. Throughout history, every transformative figure, spiritual, political, cultural, has had to walk through something crushing. Whether it was betrayal, exile, poverty, addiction, humiliation, or loss, they all bore the marks of pain, not as victims, but as those being initiated into something higher, something more refined, and that's the critical distinction. It's not the suffering itself that changes you, it's what you do with it. You can let it break you, many do. They collapse under the weight. They retreat into bitterness or cynicism, blaming the world, blaming God, blaming themselves. But others, those who come to understand what they're being shaped for, choose a different response. They pick up their cross, so to speak, and walk, not blindly, not joyfully, but resolutely, because they've made peace with the fact that this pain isn't punishment, it's preparation. We live in a culture that treats suffering as something to avoid at all costs. We sedate it, we scroll past it, we bury it in distraction. But what if instead we treated it as sacred? What if we saw it as the very thing that wakes us up, forces us to reevaluate, to grow, to deepen, to strip away the false parts of ourselves? In that light, suffering becomes the refiner's fire. It becomes the tool God uses to carve us into something capable of bearing the weight of calling. And make no mistake, calling is heavy. That's why so few people accept it. It requires you to die to who you were, to who the world told you to be. It requires discipline, honesty, sacrifice, and a willingness to confront every broken part of yourself. But in that confrontation, something astonishing happens. You begin to change. You begin to see yourself not just as a passive observer of life, but as an active participant in your own transformation. And that's where the shock begins, not in what you've achieved, but in what you've endured, and who you've become as a result. This is the paradox. Those who are chosen are often those who suffer the most. But it's not because God is cruel. It's because He is building something through them that cannot be built any other way. Greatness that comes cheap isn't greatness, it's illusion, but greatness that is forged in fire, that stands after the collapse, that speaks truth in the face of fear, that offers strength because it has known weakness, that kind of greatness has weight. And it's precisely that weight that the world needs now. So if your path has been difficult, if you've cried out asking why things feel so unfair, so overwhelming, so relentless, pause. Consider the possibility that it's not because you're forgotten. It may be because you've been chosen, not for an easy life, but for a meaningful one, not to avoid suffering, but to walk through it with integrity, not to be admired, but to become unshakable. And when you emerge, and you'll realize something shocking. Everything you thought was meant to destroy you was actually meant to build you. You were being prepared to shock the world, not with noise, but with your depth. There is no path to true transformation without confronting chaos. The world is, fundamentally, a place of disorder, and if you don't bring structure into your own life, that chaos doesn't stay on the outside. It enters, it seeps into your thoughts, your habits, your relationships, your very identity. Discipline, then, is not merely a habit or a routine. It's the act of declaring war against the entropy that's trying to take you apart. It's your first step toward building order out of madness. Most people live in a kind of drifting state. They avoid commitment, avoid structure, avoid routine. They think freedom means doing whatever they feel like doing in any given moment. But what they don't realize is that this kind of freedom is a trap. It leaves you exposed, vulnerable to every distraction, every impulse, every weakness you haven't tamed. Real freedom doesn't come from chaos. It comes from mastering it, from taking all those chaotic pieces and shaping them into something meaningful. And that's where discipline comes in. Discipline is the framework that allows the soul to breathe. It doesn't restrict you. It directs you. When you choose to order your time, your thoughts, your actions, you are telling the universe that you are not merely reacting. You are creating. You're not waiting to be rescued. You're taking the raw materials of your life and building something from them, brick by brick, day by day. You are becoming intentional, and that changes everything. But discipline is not glamorous, it's not loud, it rarely gets applause. It happens early in the morning when no one is watching. It happens in your refusal to lie to yourself, in your decision to take one more step even when your mind is screaming to quit. It's forged in silence, in solitude, in struggle, and yet it is the foundation upon which all greatness is built. You cannot rise without it. You cannot change without it. You cannot lead, inspire, or endure without it. When you begin to discipline your life, something interesting happens. You begin to see clearly. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. What once seemed impossible becomes structured into small, deliberate steps. The fog lifts. You begin to realize that most of your limitations were self-imposed, born not from external chains, but from internal disorganization. Your mind is no longer a battlefield of scattered thoughts. It becomes a weapon, sharpened by order and focus. People talk about changing the world, but how can you change anything out there if your own house is in disorder? That's not just a metaphor. If you can't make your bed, if you can't control your diet, if you can't keep your word, if you can't plan your day, how will you carry the weight of a dream? How will you withstand pressure, criticism, failure, if you don't have a disciplined core to return to? You won't. You'll collapse under the weight of your own potential. There's a hidden arrogance in those who refuse discipline. It's the belief that you can coast through life on talent, emotion, or inspiration. But inspiration fades. Emotion changes. Talent gets you noticed. But only discipline keeps you in the room. What separates the extraordinary from the ordinary is not intelligence or luck or personality. It's structure. It's the decision to bring order to the chaos and to hold that line every single day, and that decision has spiritual consequences. You begin to sense that the order you build inside yourself mirrors something deeper, something divine. When you create order, you're not just tidying up your life. You're aligning with a higher principle. You're participating in creation itself. In a world full of disorder and noise, a single life lived in disciplined purpose becomes a beacon. It radiates clarity, stability, and power. People feel it when you walk in the room. They may not know why, but they know you've built something they haven't. This is what separates those who talk about their calling from those who live it. Discipline doesn't just prepare you for your destiny. It is the path to your destiny. It keeps you grounded when the world tries to distract you. It keeps you moving when failure threatens to paralyze you. And it keeps you honest, because without discipline you will lie to yourself. You'll rationalize, procrastinate, self-sabotage. But discipline forces confrontation. It strips away illusion and shows you what you really are, and what you could become. And once you taste the strength that comes from order, you begin to crave more of it. not because it's easy, but because it brings results. You begin to live from a place of alignment instead of reaction. You become predictable in the best sense of the word, stable, steady, reliable. Your word means something. Your actions build on each other, and slowly, almost imperceptibly, you become the kind of person others depend on, because they sense that your foundation is solid. This is not about perfection. Discipline doesn't mean you never fall. It means you keep rising. It means you set standards, and when you fail to meet them, you don't make excuses. You recalibrate and move forward. That's strength, that's maturity, that's transformation, and it's how the chosen one becomes who they were meant to be, not by waiting for the world to hand them greatness, but by crafting it through relentless self-order. Transcendence is not a gift. It's not handed to you because you asked nicely or because you had a rough past. It doesn't arrive wrapped in comfort or disguised as convenience. It's not something you stumble into by accident. No transcendence must be earned. And the process of earning it is often brutal, not because the universe is cruel, but because anything powerful must be tested. Anything sacred must be proven, and you cannot become more than you are unless you go through the very thing your old self cannot survive. You can't escape the demand. The call to rise comes with conditions. It says, you want to become something greater, then prove it. Show me your willingness to face resistance. Show me you can be steady when the storm hits. Show me that you can sacrifice pleasure now for power later. The path to transcendence is littered with the remains of those who wanted the outcome without the process, those who wanted the result without paying the price. But there is no shortcut. The climb is steep on purpose. Most people are waiting. They wait for clarity. They wait for motivation. They wait for someone to affirm them, to open the door, to make it easier. But the truth is, no one is coming. There is no ideal moment. There is only you and the next step. And if you keep waiting, you stay the same. You never rise because you never resist. And without resistance, there's no growth. You don't build strength by avoiding the weight. You build strength by lifting it, day after day, until your body, your mind, and your soul adapt to the demand. This is the law of development. Something must be strained in order to grow. Something must be sacrificed in order to evolve. You can't keep the same habits, the same excuses, the same mindset, and expect transformation. You must confront the very parts of yourself that are comfortable with mediocrity, the parts that hide, lie, indulge, quit. And when you do that, it's not just about discipline anymore. It's about confrontation. It's about a war between your lower nature and the version of you that God is trying to pull forward. People talk about purpose as if it's a romantic idea. But purpose is not soft. It demands a death of ego. It demands endurance, especially when nothing around you seems to validate your efforts. And in that silence, in that space where no one sees you trying, you're being measured. Every time you choose to keep going, to stay honest, to push harder, you're accumulating something unseen. Call it strength, call it credibility, call it alignment with destiny. Whatever it is, it can't be faked. And it can't be stolen. It's yours because you earned it. This is why transcendence shocks the world, because people have watched you suffer. They've seen you go unnoticed, passed over, underestimated. But what they didn't see was the inner war, the hours of hidden sacrifice, the nights you fought through temptation, the mornings you rose without applause. So when you finally break through, when your presence shifts, when your voice carries power, when your actions ripple beyond you, it stuns them, because they didn't know the price you paid, but God did. And more importantly, you did. And the result is not just a new level of success. It's a new level of you. You become someone who cannot be moved easily, someone who no longer folds under pressure. You carry a weight in your presence because you've carried weight in your process. You don't need to scream to be heard. You don't need to prove anything. You simply are. That's transcendence, not arriving at a higher place, but becoming a higher being. The dangerous lie that many people believe is that if they just wait long enough or pray hard enough, transformation will simply come. But the real spiritual principle is this: God meets you in your movement. You take a step, he meets you with strength. You fall and rise again, he meets you with grace. But he will not carry you across the mountain you were born to climb. That's your task. That's your proving ground. And it's where you learn that you were never just a victim of your past. You were a seed waiting to sprout through pressure. Earning transcendence doesn't mean perfection. You'll fail. You'll fall back into old habits. You'll lose your way more than once. But what separates those who rise from those who don't is persistence. It's the refusal to stay down. It's the humility to learn and the hunger to improve. It's the understanding that every small act of self-mastery adds up. Every moment of restraint, every hour of work, every decision to do what's right instead of what's easy, these are the bricks that build transcendence. So no, this isn't about hoping to be rescued. It's about becoming someone who doesn't need to be rescued. Someone who has gone through the fire and come out refined. Someone who shocks the world not just with success, but with depth, clarity, strength, and stillness. That's what the process was building in you. Not fame, not applause substance. The kind of substance that can't be shaken, because it was built in silence, in struggle, and in sacred solitude. When you begin to rise, truly rise, not in noise or ego, but in quiet, determined transformation, the world pays attention. Sometimes it applauds, sometimes it resists, but it never ignores, because your growth threatens something. It disrupts the patterns others have built their identities on. Your change reminds people of what they are avoiding. It exposes the comfort zones they've made into cages, and nothing causes discomfort like someone who refuses to stay small. People like things to stay predictable. It gives them a sense of control. When you operate inside familiar roles, within old habits and war, not narratives, you're easy to categorize, you're manageable, safe, but when you begin to evolve, when your language changes, when your priorities shift, when you start moving with conviction, that safety dissolves. You become unfamiliar, and unfamiliar things cause fear. Understand this: your transformation doesn't just affect you, it destabilizes the old system. Whether it's in your family, your community, or your circle of friends, you're part of an ecosystem. When you change, the system feels it, and it will try, sometimes subtly, sometimes violently, to pull you back into alignment with what it once knew you as. This isn't always malicious. Sometimes it's unconscious. But it's real. Growth invites resistance. When people see you rising, they're forced to face a mirror, and in that mirror, they may see the parts of themselves they've buried, the dreams they abandoned, the compromises they made, the strength they never developed. Your success is not just a personal victory. It's a disruption, and that disruption shocks those who were convinced that life was meant to be survived, not mastered. They begin to question things, often against their will. This is why the rise of the chosen one, the person willing to endure, to fight, to transform, is met not just with admiration, but also with opposition. The world doesn't like to be reminded that it's settled. And your very existence, once you begin walking in purpose, becomes that reminder. That's part of the burden, but it's also part of the calling. If you were meant to be invisible, you wouldn't have been given vision. It's important to prepare yourself for this, because if you expect universal support, you'll be crushed by rejection. If you think everyone will celebrate your growth, you'll be confused when they distance themselves. But when you understand that the shaking is a sign that your presence carries weight, you stop needing permission, you stop apologizing for evolving, you stop hiding the progress just to protect someone else's comfort. Not everyone wants you to change, even if they say they do. Change confronts their identity. It forces them to either grow with you or stay behind, and staying behind feels like loss. So they fight your growth, not always with words, but with subtle tactics. Sarcasm, withdrawal, discouragement, silence. Don't take it personally. See it for what it is. A sign that you're moving. A sign that what you're becoming is powerful enough to demand a response. The irony is, many people don't hate you. They hate what your growth reveals about their stagnation. And while it's not your job to carry their pain, it is your job to continue, because your transformation is bigger than you. There are people who haven't even met you yet, whose lives will be touched by your courage to change. But they'll never find you if you let the world shame you back into mediocrity. This is the quiet cost of greatness. Not just hard work or long nights, but emotional resilience, the ability to stay true to your process even when it isolates you, even when it turns people against you, even when it would be easier to shrink back into what's familiar. You have to develop the strength to walk alone, not forever, but long enough to become undeniable, and once you do, something powerful happens. Those who once resisted you start to watch. The same people who doubted begin to ask questions. Not always directly, but silently. They're watching how you carry yourself. They're watching how you handle pressure. They're watching to see if your new strength is real or just another phase. And if you're consistent, if you keep walking without bitterness, without ego, without fear, your life becomes proof. You don't have to convince anyone. You just have to keep becoming. Eventually, the shock wears off. And in its place comes something deeper, respect. Not the kind that's shouted, but the kind that settles into silence. People begin to realize that you weren't chasing attention. You were chasing alignment. And in that alignment, you became someone worth listening to. Someone whose very presence shifts the room. Not because of volume, but because of substance. That's what true influence is. So if the world is shaken by what you're becoming, let it shake. That's not a sign you're on the wrong path. It's a sign you're waking things up. Some will hate it, some will fight it, but some will be inspired, some will follow, and all of them will be forced to notice. Because when you rise with integrity, with consistency, and with truth, you don't just change your life. You disturb the old order. You send a signal to the world. Something real is happening here. Power has always had a strange dual nature. On one hand, it's what we're called to carry. On the other, it's what many fear will misuse. And when you begin to embody real power, earned through sacrifice, forged through discipline, rooted in moral clarity, the world doesn't just see it. It feels it. You enter a room and something shifts, not because of your voice or your posture, but because of the weight of who you've become. That kind of power is undeniable, and it's dangerous, not to the innocent, but to the systems built on weakness and control. You were never meant to stay in a diminished form. You were not designed for shallow living. There is something divine in the human capacity to rise, to overcome, to build, to speak, to lead. But power without depth is hollow, and power without purpose is destructive. That's why the process that brought you here was hard. That's why it demanded pain, silence, and waiting, because the strength you now carry isn't just about achievement. It's about stewardship. It's about becoming a vessel strong enough to hold something eternal. When the shift happens, when you stop begging for approval and start walking in your authority, you'll notice the energy around you change. You no longer chase validation because your identity is no longer fragile. You no longer react to small things because you're anchored in something bigger. You don't crumble at criticism because your foundation isn't built on applause. That's the sign you've stepped into real power. You're not controlled by noise. You move with intention, and it unsettles those who are content with your silence. But this power didn't come cheaply. You didn't wake up one day and find it. It came from the nights you chose integrity over impulse. From the times you stayed quiet instead of retaliating. From the moments you chose growth over comfort. Every battle you fought within yourself left a scar, and every scar became a symbol of authority. You don't need to shout about it. Your endurance speaks louder than any speech ever could. And now, you carry something that cannot be faked. It's not charisma. It's not popularity. It's presence. People can sense when someone has been through the fire and didn't lose themselves. They can feel it when you speak, not because you're clever, but because your words come from experience, not theory. And in a world drowning in performance, that kind of authenticity is rare. It's magnetic. And it's feared. There are those who will try to diminish what you've become, not because they doubt your strength, but because it threatens their control. Real power doesn't need permission. It doesn't ask to be accepted. It is, and that presence disorients people who have built their identity around playing small or keeping others small. You weren't meant to fit inside someone else's idea of what's safe. You were called to carry something larger. And when you finally accept that calling, you become uncontainable, but with this power comes responsibility, because the same strength that can build can also break. The same words that can heal can also wound. The same presence that inspires can also intimidate. So the question becomes, will you carry this power with character? Will you remember the pain that gave it to you? Will you stay humble enough to lead without ego, and strong enough to speak truth even when it costs you? This is what separates leaders from tyrants, builders from destroyers, light from noise, and don't be surprised when your power attracts resistance. There will be those who mock it, misunderstand it, or try to manipulate it. Some will flatter you to get close. Others will resent you from afar. This is the tax of becoming. But you didn't come this far to turn back now. You've paid too much. You've endured too long. And now the world needs what you carry. Not a watered-down version, not a polite version, but the real version, clear, solid, grounded, unapologetic, because someone out there is still stuck where you once were. They need to see that rising is possible. They need to see that strength and compassion can coexist, that clarity and kindness are not opposites. You become their evidence, not by preaching, but by living. Not by controlling, but by showing. That's power. Not domination, but demonstration. The power to change the atmosphere by being fully alive, fully free, and fully awake. This is your arrival point, but it's not the end. It's the place where leadership begins, where your presence becomes a force for good in a world starving for authenticity. You're not just influencing people anymore. You're impacting them. You're not just surviving. You're shaping. And the ripple effect of who you've become will reach farther than you ever imagined. So walk in that, carry it with discipline, protect it with humility, and wield it with wisdom, because the power you've earned wasn't just for you. It was given to you so you could lead, lift, and liberate others. That is the weight, that is the honor, and that is why the world is about to be shocked, not just by what you've done, but by who you've become. There is something sacred about a person who refuses to quit, who stands, shaken, scarred, exhausted, but stands anyway, who takes one more step, not because they feel strong, but because they have decided that retreat is no longer an option. That kind of person becomes a force, not just a survivor, but a signal to the world that defeat is not inevitable, that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the human spirit can endure, rebuild, and rise. When you've been through enough, something changes in you. You stop chasing comfort. You stop begging for life to be easy. You stop expecting the world to be fair. Instead, you get focused. You get precise. You learn to breathe in chaos and still move forward. And people who haven't experienced deep struggle can't understand this. They mistake your calm for arrogance, your silence for weakness, your resolve for stubbornness. But you know better. You're not resisting out of pride. You're refusing to surrender your destiny. Because you've seen what happens when you stop. You've tasted what it feels like to give up too soon. You've watched opportunities slip away because you let fear lead. And so now, there's something in you that won't let go. A fire, quiet but unrelenting, that drives you to keep pressing forward even when no one's watching, even when nothing is working, even when your heart is heavy and your body is tired. That's the grit that separates those who almost break through from those who do. Not talent, not luck, not connections, grit, the unwillingness to fold, the courage to show up again and again, while others wait for permission or guarantees. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting, but it's what builds legacy. It's what forms character, and it's the final piece of the transformation, the moment when you realize that the greatest threat to your purpose isn't the enemy outside, it's the voice inside that tells you to stop trying. That voice will never fully go away. You'll hear it in the quiet moments, especially when progress is slow. It will tell you it's not worth it, that you've already failed too many times, that you should play smaller, safer. But now you know what to do with that voice. You don't argue with it. You don't explain yourself. You just keep moving. You let your actions speak. You let your life become the answer. And here's the truth. Sometimes God lets the process stretch out longer than you want, not to punish you, but to make sure you're ready, ready for the weight of what's coming, ready to carry success with integrity, ready to lead with empathy, not ego. If you had risen too soon, you might have cracked under pressure. You might have misused your influence. You might have forgotten the pain that gave you your perspective. But now, because you stayed the course, you're prepared, not just to have power, but to handle it. That kind of readiness only comes through resistance, through walking forward even when the future is unclear, through continuing the mission even when it feels pointless, through trusting that if you just stay in motion, something will break, something will open, and when it does, it will make sense why it had to take this long. You'll see that the delay wasn't a denial, it was a design. The path wasn't blocked, it was being built under your feet. This is why endurance matters, not just for achievement, but for transformation. Because who you become while you wait, while you fight, while you struggle, is more important than what you get at the end. The journey reshapes your soul, it sharpens your instincts, it strips away the ego, the illusions, the noise. And when you emerge, you're not just stronger, you're clearer, wiser, ready to stand in what you once only dreamed about. And when the world finally sees you, it won't understand what it's looking at. They'll see the result, but they won't see the rejection you endured. They'll hear your voice, but they won't know the nights you cried. They'll feel your power, but they won't see the process that built it. That's why they'll be shocked, because what looked like silence was actually preparation. What looked like nothing happening was really everything coming together, quietly, faithfully, in the dark. So this is your reminder. Don't stop now. Don't let the delay discourage you. Don't let the resistance derail you. Don't let the whispers of doubt drown out the truth you know deep down. You are not finished. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are being forged, and the pressure you feel is not the end. It's the beginning of becoming someone unshakable. The promise is still alive. The mission still matters, and the world needs what you carry, fully formed. Not rushed, not diluted, not half-hearted. So finish the work, stay on the path, keep pressing forward, and soon, very soon, the world will witness what God already saw in you. Someone who couldn't be stopped. Someone who refused to quit. Someone who became the impossible, one step at a time.